You know, before time, before the ages, even before creation, God had a plan of redemption, knowing that man would fall. So God devised a plan of redemption, and that is that he would suffer for the sinner. He would die for the guilty. He would pay the price for the transgressor in the person of his Son. That was the plan of redemption. He had that plan already before he created Adam, because he knew what would happen. He knew that race would fall. And he had a plan in mind, so that as the years went by and the centuries went by, wherever anyone took God at his word, wherever anyone believed God, wherever anyone took God at his word, God took him in. God forgave him. God justified him. God made him as his own. I used to say it often in teaching with young people, that God wanted to create a humanity that would be interested in him. And it worked, talking to the young people, so I'm telling all of you. God would create a new humanity that would be interested in him. Now you read the Old Testament and all of that history, and you will find that man wasn't interested in God. He'd get into trouble, as in the case of the nation of Israel, and then they'd cry for help. God in his mercy and grace would pick them up and give them another chance. And they've hardly read that verse. Then the next verse comes up, and they forgot God. He wasn't in their mind. Human race isn't interested in God. God wanted a community, an entity, a humanity that would be interested in him. And if they're interested in him, they're not going to forget him. To be filled. That's the prayer. To be filled. What's the implication? The implication is that if they're filled, there won't be room for anything else. They won't get sidetracked, that God must have some other purpose, some other plan. When I listen to some of the foolishness that has come out of the modern neo-evangelicals, making the gospel for this and the gospel for that and the gospel for whatever of God's will for this time, this age, for this humanity, and what it's all about, and it's for his glory. Because they don't know that, and they're not filled with that, then they're exploring, what can we do? What can we do? We have young men coming out of seminaries today who haven't the faintest idea what God's plan and program is for this age. But they hope that they can go out and start some new organization by which they become parasites to a local church. They're going to start something. Why, God has run out of ideas, don't you see? So you have to graduate from a seminary to know what to do. But if you're filled, that's your center. That's your circumference. That's what means more than anything else, because you're interested in God. And that will deal with all these other things referred to here, to walk worthy and be fruitful in every good work. To have this in mind. This is the motive. This is the important thing. That he is to have the honor and the glory, not because I figured out a way that's more exciting than a prayer meeting in a local assembly. No. but because I know his will, his program for this age, for this dispensation, for this time. Now that doesn't do away with the need for the individual to be led as God leads.